Welcome to Practical Spirituality. Now imagine if every 5-year-old in this country was allowed to drive a vehicle. What do you think the outcome would be? Well, you would say, that's not a very smart idea, Priya, because 5-year-olds don't have enough motor skills. They can't gauge distances, they can't gauge danger, they get easily distracted. So they might end up being injurious to themselves and to others. What if I told you that most of us are driving our lives, this vehicle of life, like a 5-year-old? We really don't have the maturity or the wisdom or the patience or the endurance or the intuition to navigate our lives. Which means we need to have some kind of life driving school so we can learn these skills to become an expert driver. What would life look like if you and everyone in your world knew how to navigate life skillfully? Just close your eyes for a moment and slow your breath down as you center yourself. Visualize the people in your life and visualize yourself. And check in where in your own life you have piled up a lot of wrecks. You have piled up a lot of damage and hurt and pain. Either it was because you bumped into someone or someone bumped into you. But either ways, neither of you knew the skill set to navigate that moment or how to get out of the way of that moment. So slow your breath down, close your eyes, and focus at the middle of the forehead between the brows. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift your heart and allow that inhale to drop all the way into your belly, way deep down, and allow that expansion in your navel. And on the exhale, slowly draw the navel in towards the spine as slowly as possible. And keep your eyes gazing at the screen of your mind. And you will find that in the beginning, there is just nothing on that. Nothing is getting projected on the screen of your mind. Just a lot of fog, a lot of little dots. But I want you to keep breathing into yourself with patience. So let's begin this first lesson today, patience. With patience, inhale into your abdomen. Receive yourself into yourself. And extreme gentleness, exhale, slowly, gently, mindfully. And observe this pace and what it's doing for your mind. Keep going, inhaling slowly through the nose. Filling the belly, filling the chest, opening the shoulders. That's a complete inhale. On the exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the chest, and draw the abdomen in towards the spine. That's a complete exhale. And keep focused at the third eye point and watch how difficult just that simple task of focusing feels like for most of us. How many minds, how many ways is your mind distracted? And all this fog and all of this maze, you are looking for yourself. The only thing that brings you close to that experience of yourself is the sound of your breath. So take a moment and allow yourself to experience the sound of your breath. And once that starts to get established, I would like for you to visualize what your life would look like if everyone in your world, people around you at home, people at work, people in your neighborhood, your distant relatives, the entire population, what would it look like if everyone knew how to navigate their lives? Just take a moment. You have permission to imagine that. Just imagine it. Don't listen to what the mind is saying to you right now. It's telling you that's impossible. I can hear it. But just go with me for a moment. Sense into what the feeling is in your heart right now. Beautiful. Keep the breath slow and deep. And begin to rub the palms together. Press them together. Press the thumbs against the sternum. Let's tune into this inner driving instructor that all of us have. But you have to tune in, you have to knock on that door. The mantra we're going to use is Om Namo Gurudev Namo. For those of you who are new to Kundalini Yoga, you're welcome to close your eyes and allow my voice to tune you in, or you can do your best to copy along. All right, let's take a deep inhale. Exhale. Let's inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And please inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Continue to gaze at that screen of the mind and see what you see without denying it. Inhale a little more. And gently exhale. Relax the breath. Relax the palms. And open your eyes. So, did you get a moment of experience of what life would feel like if you, as well as everyone around you, knew how to navigate life? Well, that's what these classes are for. Unfortunately, none of these skills are taught to us in our education system in schools and colleges. But I'm hoping that some of you might be ready for these skills. Most 5-year-olds are not. They are enjoying their distractions. But you are, and you are here today. So welcome. If you choose to, share with us where you are tuning in from. We would love to know more about you. So share a little more about yourself with us. So today we wanted to dive into the distortion number 3 If you are just tuning into this class and you have missed the last two, I think you can still find them on the YouTube channel. You can always listen to them later, or you can also find them at our online studio. You can check more classes there as well. So there is a mirage that happens the moment we begin to perceive our life through the lens of our mind. So your mind is a really incredible instrument, a really incredible instrument. Your mind is what allows you to have the experiences that you are having and recording and logging in. But there's something very interesting about the mind. The mind is very programmable. It is very impressionable. That is the good news, and that is also the bad news. So the yogis would say that there is a distortion that takes place when we are perceiving life. And our mind starts to believe that the distortions of life are actually the reality of life. And that creates a big problem, because then we keep moving round and round in a circle. It's like a vicious circle that you can never get out of. We'll elaborate a little more upon that in a moment. But most of us right now, as you're listening to me, I don't think you might be even understanding what I'm saying, because what does the word reality mean to us? So to check in, if you have an answer, type it in for us. What does the word reality mean for you? It's a word. But reality in the yogic terms would mean, because it's not a tangible thing, they would say there are gauges to check if you are experiencing reality or non-reality. And two of those gauges were stress and joy. Joy can also be interpreted as peace or as harmony. So write that down somewhere if you have a paper or a pen. Joy / peace / harmony. Maybe I should write it right here. Symptoms of reality. So the yogis would say, if in any moment, even if it's a challenging moment, you can still be within yourself in a state of joy, you are experiencing reality. Think about it, about the neutral smile of Buddha. You know, Buddha is known for this very serene smile on his face, yes? That peaceful smile would never change, because he was always connected to his own underlying reality. So no matter what the environment was around him, that neutral smile of peace would never change. And now that very smile has become the symbol of peace and harmony, hasn't it? You can also think about Christ, where he still found peace in a moment of persecution, in a moment of extreme pain. He could connect to his inner reality, that vast ground of sublime reality that exists inside all of us, but none of us know about it because we never really pay attention to it. So we chase for reality inside of the distortions of our life. Another barometer for reality that the yogis would recommend is the level of stress. They would say, if you are stressed, even in restful moments, you are really far away from reality. If you are stressed, even in restful moments. And this is something that I'm getting a lot of calls about right now. I think one of the simplest examples we can take of this distortion, this mirage taking place, is literally happening to us right now. So what I'm watching people do is chasing stress while seeking happiness. Just see how that resonates with you. Chasing stress while seeking happiness. How much are you conditioned for the chase? This mind, this sophisticated instrument that we have, like I said, is so programmable. We can program it for anything. But the way we have set ourselves up through generations, we have set ourselves up for a chase. And we have started to find some kind of pleasure in that chase, which kind of connects to what we were talking about last Friday. We were talking about how we mistake painful for pleasure. We mistake chase for fun. And that becomes our normal over a period of time. So check in for how many of you stress, anxiety, upset has become the norm. Has that become your reality? Just check in. You can close your eyes and be very truthful with yourself. That is the first criteria of this classroom. You will have to be radically be truthful to yourself. Have you somewhere along the way adopted the criteria, maybe by watching those around you, that the more stressed and busy you are, the more you're on the path of happiness? You are chasing happiness. But have you deposited your sense of reality in stress? So some of the calls that I'm getting nowadays, most of the calls have the same underlying tone. It's usually because of stress. It's usually due to anxiety or fear of the future and so forth. And when I and the person, we go through a little bit of an investigation as to what is the source of this, we normally end up at a similar scenario. And that scenario says that I am anxious about the life that is going to show up after this shelter at home thing is done, after COVID has calmed down. Will my life look like what I had before? And I fear that that will not be the case. And I usually find myself asking this question. I say, did you enjoy your life prior to COVID? Was that life joyful, filled with happiness? Was it peaceful? Was it harmonious? Normally, it makes them pause for a second and check in and say, well, not really. Then why would you want to go back to that again? Don't you think this is an opportune time for a reset, to break this illusion? There is a possibility right now, to those of you who are ready to break through this illusion, where you can look at the distortions of your life and remind yourself, have I accepted those distortions as my truth, as my reality? So chasing stress while seeking happiness, I think that's one reason most people don't really exhale fully, because a full exhale would mean something has been completed. The inhale came in, the exhale has been full, and the next round can begin now. Something new can begin now. Unconsciously, most of us don't even exhale fully, because if we exhale fully, we will have to take a full inhale. If I don't exhale fully, that means something is left over, and I can only take a certain amount of inhale back into myself. So something new is there partially, but not the whole thing. So the mind is very subconsciously trained, very slowly, very gently over time, to believe that there is something missing. It is trained to believe that real happiness does not exist. Again, this is something that we have picked up even as children from those around us. We have watched people around us declare what happiness is. Oops, let me grab a little eraser. All right. So most of us feel, and this is something that we have gathered as a distortion, we feel that if we have a lot of attachments, which are relationships, plus abundance, plus entertainment, is equal to happiness. Is it not? What are the goals of your life? Just check in. You want relationships, yes? Somewhat people can like you. You want to be liked, you want to be heard, you want to hear others, you want to socialize, and so forth. You want certain level of abundance in your life. And you say, if I can entertain myself, I can go to parties, I can go on vacations, and so forth. That would equate to happiness. That's a happy life. But I have not met anyone so far, and this is a research that I have been internally doing for a while. I've been checking in and seeing people who do have these, are they happy? I had to check in with my own self. I did have all of these. And I felt like one of the most miserable people inside myself. I was searching and seeking for this, but I found that I was settling in for a predetermined definition of what happiness is, which is these three. So when you have gone through this entire criteria, gone through the drama, gone through the endeavors, gone through the hard work of accumulating this in your life, and you still feel that empty space, that's where the real seeking begins. So if you are at that place right now in your life, congratulations. The real seeking is now beginning for you. But you might find you are one in a herd who is actually seeking real happiness. And in that process, you will find yourself getting a little unattached from all three of these. And people around you will not understand that. They will tell you happiness is in attachments. And when we talk about attachments, there's a huge level of traditions that are involved in attachments, especially our familial attachments, our cultural attachments. So we have defined traditions to be the whole structure. And if we defy a tradition, if we walk out of tradition to explore ourselves, we will not be understood. Again, a distortion that is perceived as reality. Traditions are beautiful. Traditions are wonderful. They give a guideline. They give a map of something that has happened before and something that has worked. But that map, that guideline, has to always be gauged in reflection to your own reality, in reflection to the reality of yourself, the desires of exploration that are springing forth from within you. Do those traditions support them? And you will find that some of us, in our need for that secure safety, these three together, that secure safety, that secure box, we have sacrificed some of our own inner desires, an own inner needs to explore life in our own way, in our own unique way. And maybe we might come back and reconcile with the tradition and say, yes, that tradition is wonderful. That's what I need. But when our need to explore ourselves is slayed because we are being asked to follow tradition, that's another example where distortion gets mistaken for reality. So to me, there's a very simple criteria in my own experience. This is what I've come down to, really. Joy, your inner joy, is dependent on very simple things. Very simple things. And if you allow yourself that joy, you begin to become familiar with its scent. You begin to familiarize yourself with what that joy smells like, feels like, what's that fragrance. And once you know it, now you will know what to look for in everything you do. In the old Vedic text, there is a beautiful, beautiful term that the yogis were encouraged to practice. They would say, Neti, Neti, Atma. Neti means no. So no, no, Atma. Atma means that inner self, that soul self. So the goal, they would say, is for you to check in everything you do, everything you engage in, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a pursuit for abundance or entertainment. None of these are wrong. But you have to check for yourself and say, can I find myself? Can I feel that joy of the self when I pursue any of these? Or am I pursuing something that has been prescribed by someone else? So Neti Neti Atma, not my soul, not my soul. No soul in here, no soul in here, no soul in here. Even if something is set up as a tradition for you, even if something is set up as a blueprint for you, go to school, get a job, blah, 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 so forth, follow all the criteria so you can get here. And then finally you will have happiness. So let's keep chasing that. But is there joy in that for you? Again, when I say joy, please remember, your mind will tell you, yes, there is joy in that. But mind loves to problem solve. Mind loves a chase. When there's nothing left for you to chase, do you think your mind settles? So through your life, you have chased after different things. Yes? You have chased after toys when you were younger, yes? You have chased after validation and a sense of belonging when you were a teenager, wanting to fit in. You have chased abundance since you became an adult. You have chased experiences. When you become a little more older, you chase stability. When you get a little more older, you find that everything you were looking for has not been found, no matter how many times you arrived at that destination that you gave yourself. You arrived at the destination and you were hoping you will open that package up and find happiness in there, that joy, that pure joy that will never go again. It'll be there for permanently for you again. There'll be no more chasing, there'll be no more seeking, there'll be no more looking. Has that happened for you? Have we all been feeding ourselves a fake story? Like I said, we have to get real with ourselves. That's when spirituality becomes really practical for each one of us. Then we say, if I have not yet found what I was chasing after, even though I was given this formula, and I followed this formula to a T, where is that joy? Where is that peace? Now it's time for you to check in with yourself and see, have you ever had a taste of that real joy in your life? Just close your eyes for a moment. Ask yourself that question. Have I ever really tasted that real joy, that real sense of peace, that real sense of harmony? Have I ever tasted it? Ask yourself, what am I running after? Just pause yourself in the tracks for a moment. Just ask, what am I running after? If you have a paper and pen, write something down, whatever comes to your mind. Right now, the beautiful, odd, sometimes ugly situation that life has presented to us, where it has literally paused all of us in our tracks. This cabin fever that is being felt by a lot of people, where they're getting antsy now to get up and get going again on that chase. I would remind you to check in with yourself and say, what chase do I want to go on now? I have been given an opportunity to reset. Am I going to let the fear that my life might not look the same as it was before, I'm going to let that fear make me run on that chase again? Or can I pause and really move the curtains away and look at what I truly find joy in my life? Can I chase that? There's no problem with that. Once you have found that scent, your job of your physicality and your mind is to follow that scent. And if you follow that scent, you start to gain little pieces, little nuggets of yourself on the way. Almost reminds me of a video game, right? You begin and you're meant to collect all these little pieces. You've meant to collect some health on the way. You're meant to collect some gold coins on the way. And each time it makes you richer. And then every once in a while you get, I don't know, bitten by a mushroom. And then down goes your value, yes? Inside you, the game that goes on is kind of the same. If you follow the scent of that joy, that reality, you start to collect pieces of yourself. And even if what you're collecting might not have much value in the eyes of those around you, you within yourself start to feel one of the most richest persons in the world. You start to find this unreasonable joy. It's almost like unreasonable and it's unconditional. Notice how odd this distortion is for us. If you're walking on the street and you come across a few people who are just naturally happy, singing maybe, just singing, first thought that'll go through your mind is something crazy about them. Why would somebody just be singing a song when everything around is so stressful right now? You would have suspicions about that person. You come across another child who's just naturally happy. For a child, you say, they're allowed that insanity. But for an adult, you'll be very suspicious. But when you look around and you find people stressed out, in pain, depressed, burnt out by work, very busy, you never take a moment to question that. You say, well, that's normal. The more busy somebody is, the more stressed out somebody is, which means they're being productive. Productive means you are stressed out. If they're being productive, that means they're pursuing happiness. That's what everybody should be doing. Do you realize how crazy that is? We have taken stress, anxiety, depression, burnout, disassociation, disconnection to be normal. The other day, a woman called me. She was calling from Bank of America. And she was trying to convey to me a message about some of the loans that we need to apply for. And as she was talking to me, her child in the back started to cry. And she tried her best to ignore the child almost. And I had to just pause and say, hey, it's okay for you to attend to your child for a moment. I'll hold. It's okay. And I could hear an exhale that came through her. We paused. She calmed the child down. She came back on the phone and she said, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry. This is reality. To pretend that we are not humans, to pretend that we are robotic beings, that's a distortion. And how much have we all invested in that distortion? So I'm grateful to this virus in a strange way. It is breaking down our distortions, these illusional walls of our distortions. We can't hide behind them right now. Like I keep saying, it's a wake-up call. Please wake up. Own that reality for yourself. Own that reality for those around you. Support them in that reality, because it'll be much more easier if we start to support each other in that. If you don't have those kind of people around you, find a group of people that supports your reality, that supports your exploration. This reality is an exploration. Happiness is an exploration, which means you're meant to make mistakes on the way to exploration. It's an experiment. And notice what we do with mistakes. From very early on, we condition ourselves and our children that mistakes are bad. They must not be made. And it's a very strange phenomena of the mind, because again, going back to this need to feel safe in a certain structure. If I put myself in a box, that box is closed, and now I know I'm not going anywhere. In this container, I'm safe. But the moment I step out, the moment I color out of the lines, the moment I think out of the box, there is danger. And mind, like I said, loves to problem solve. I would love for you to just take a moment now, just let's pause and journal or scribble something that's coming to your awareness, where there is a distortion that was sold to you as reality. Again, there's no conspiracy that's going on. We are all doing this for each other. But we have to wake up. Some of us have to wake up to that. Where in your life have you believed a distortion to be a reality, and that has caused you that wounding, and you have been carrying the wounding instead of saying, I refuse to subscribe to the distortion? That's what I want you to look at. Just check in for a moment, and I'll come back and give you a few more examples of where we do this. So I'm just going to pause here and slow my breath down while you ponder. And if you feel like sharing anything with the world, with us, please put a comment in so I can get to learn from you as well. What have you believed in, thinking that was the right thing to do, thinking you were following the rules, but that itself was causing you upset? instead of joy. All right. So I hope you will continue on the self-realization process. But here's another one I wanted to bring to your awareness. Chasing attachments, looking for love. If you guys were here right now, this would be a really rich discussion, because you would say, no, Priya, I'm really looking for love. But if you were to truly be real with yourself, you would check in for all the places you have settled. You have settled for pleasure and attachments instead of love. And this is something we do very subconsciously. We want this, but this feels very dangerous to the ego. Love is like, to be in love, to be truly in love, is like to be mad, is to be like a little crazy, because this space doesn't follow logic. This is coloring outside the lines. This is going against your egoic nature for self-protection. This is going against all other identification. You're willing to drop everything else for this. So anyone who has truly loved, knows that the flavor behind it, that fragrance of joy and peace and harmony that is felt in the heart, the expansion that is felt in the heart, feels nothing like the attachments. Attachments also create connection, but it's almost like a synthetic attachment. A lot of our attachments are out of duty or out of loneliness. We would attach to anything when we are lonely. That's a very scary place for us. But we are looking for this. But we don't want to be patient enough to build that frequency, so we settle for this. Distortion, mistaken for reality. So even though you have attained what you thought would be love, why is there that empty space? Why is there that emptiness? Why has that fragrance not filled everything in your world? Well, because they're fake flowers. They really don't have a fragrance. They look beautiful, very low maintenance. You don't really have to change the water or trim them. And the best part is, you don't have to deal with the fear of them hurting you, of them dying and hurting you. This space is only for the courageous, because reality means that anything can happen. It means you have to be open to hurt. Think about it this way. When you would go to somebody's house, yes, would you take flowers for them, or would you take a boulder of rock? Which one would you take for them? What would be appealing? Well, even though I can't hear you, I can still hear you. And you say flowers. Of course, flowers. That'd be ridiculous to take a boulder of rock. Now, why would you take flowers? Flowers are fragile. They will die in a day or two. Rock, on the other hand, long-lasting, steady. They can have that for their entire life. It'll occupy that space. Every time they look at that rock, they'll think of you. Why flowers? It's the same thing between reality and distortion, between love and attachment. You would not take love because love is fragile. Attachments are a little more long-lasting. You can live your entire life. You can drag yourself in attachments. And you can wrap them in responsibility and duty and so forth. But it will not fill that void. So once again, I would really implore you to take this moment right now as we are talking to become real with yourself. And check in what has caused you to attach to these distortions. Does it feel easier? Because reality does feel a little more difficult, but my God, it is so enriching. Is it the fear that you will really never get at the real happiness or the real love, so you settle? Is it that? So take another few moments. Check in with all the attachments in your life. Some of them might be sprouting from realness. That's okay. But you will find a whole realm of attachments, even attachment to a particular job that you have or did. Check in with your attachments to your dreams. Are they based on reality? Do they bring joy in your life as you are chasing them? Or would it feel like a lot of work to reach a peak of a mountain and then finding out, I have just climbed the wrong mountain? You are feeling the frequency of my words as I'm speaking. So you know I'm telling you what you need to look at if you are hearing me right now. And I hope you can lean into it. I hope you will not run away. I hope you will say, let me break, let me shatter this mirage. And as many places of my life as possible, I am going to sniff out reality. And I'm going to follow its path. I'm going to follow the breadcrumb trail of those real moments. And even though I don't know where I'm going, I am in joy. I am still in harmony. I feel in harmony. And I'm okay with someone not understanding me. And that is something you will truly have to embrace. For each one of us, our reality might be different. And only you can embrace yours. Stop waiting for somebody else to give you that validation or that permission. You have to do that for yourself. So let's take a few more moments. You can just close your eyes and truly have a conversation with yourself, or you can journal, and then we'll get into a short Kriya set to release some of that stress out of your body, out of your mind, so we can clear some of those distortions for you today. And make sure you don't run away for the Kriya. That is a very important part of your training. You have to train yourself, learn how to drive your life. You have to build those nervous system. You have to balance your glandular system. So we need those Kriyas, we need those meditations. Those are tools. All right. I know I handed you quite a bit today, but that's what we're here for, right? All right. If you're ready, make some room around yourself. If any of those postures that we're going to do today feel challenging for you, don't give up. Modify them. If you can't modify them, if your body just won't allow them, that's okay. You sit, you close your eyes, and you visualize yourself doing those, because that'll still allow your energy to move in that direction. But no running away. All right. Let's warm up the spine a little bit. Bring your hands to your knees and begin to circle from the base of the spine. Close your eyes. And I want you to start to find your breath, locate your breath. If you locate your breath, you will locate yourself. So let's begin to grab a hold of that frequency of your real self that's residing within you. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And as you begin to hear the sound of your breath, begin to deepen that circling. Your eyes are closed and you are focused with your gaze at the middle of the brow. And now reverse direction. Keep the breath strong and deep. Again, this is a training. It is very easy for the mind to get distracted. So every time you come to this class or any of those classes where you're being asked to focus, please listen, focus at that single point and listen to your breath. Just in this little tiny movement, a lot of that stress will start to get released. Reverse direction again. And one more time. All right, inhale in the center. Whenever you're ready, come sitting on your heels. Just like this. If sitting on your heels is difficult, you can place a pillow between the heels and the hips. Or if sitting on a chair, that's fine. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Extend your arms out. Lock your thumbs just like this. Place the right hand over the left and lean forward about 30 degrees. You can spread the knees wider apart if you choose to. Close your eyes. Stick your tongue out and begin breath of fire. Pumping the navel, equal inhale, equal exhale, breathing through the open mouth with the tongue sticking out. Beautiful. This is going to cause a little bit of discomfort for your body. And we want that discomfort. We want you to hold that odd angle of your body. Your mind is going to activate to try to find relief for you from this discomfort. And you're going to be given a choice right now. Do you want to go into that comfort zone? Or do you want to follow through on this instruction and say, no, just trust this. It's doing something for you. And if you keep up with it, your entire nervous system is going to start to get activated. To be able to see reality, to be able to sustain ourselves in that state of reality requires a strong nervous system, which is shot from most people right now. Beautiful. Keep that leaning forward, keep that tongue sticking out, even if it looks crazy, doesn't matter. You are honoring yourself in this moment, not anyone else. Drop the desire that anybody else should see you as normal. Let's begin the training right here, right now. Keep up. Last few seconds. You're almost there. All right, inhale. Relax the tongue. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale, relax the spine. That straight position. Relax the arms down. Close your eyes for a moment and just breathe. Check in with yourself. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Here's another position, posture, that your body will resist. And you have a choice in this moment. Go to distortion or say, if this was my reality, will I choose to stay in that reality? So you can come standing up. And from here, we will squat down. You can also place your heels on a rolled mat or blanket or a pillow. And your feet are going to be about hip distance apart. And you're going to squat down. If the hips are tight, again, do the best that you can. If you can, squat all the way down, squat halfway down, and you can keep your spine straight. Now open the arms out wide. That's your inhale. Exhale and clap the palms over your head. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Clap as loud as possible. All right, keep up, keep up, keep up. Anytime you feel you need to take a break, you can stand up, shake your legs out, and squat back down again. Even if it means you have to do that every few seconds, there's no problem with that. But keep up. All right, now instead of clapping, allow your arms to pass each other by and then pass them by in the opposite way. So your right hand goes behind the left and then the left hand goes behind the right. Again, working the nervous system, strengthening the heart center, the upper back. Strong breath. Strong breath. If you feel a little dizzy or lightheaded, pause, place your hands on your heart for a moment, and then begin again. Keep reminding yourself, I'm training myself, I'm getting an education for my body and my mind that I never received before. And this will allow me to sustain myself in my reality. It'll prevent me from getting hypnotized by the collective consciousness. So strong breath, strong breath. These are tools for you to live your life in the fullest maximum capacity, to bring you to a state of joy no matter what you're doing. Even in your challenges, you will find joy. See if you can get there right now. Last few seconds. You're almost there. Inhale, open the arms out wide. Exhale, slowly rise up. You can relax the arms down, rise up, shake your legs out if you need to. Wonderful job. Beautiful. All right, come lying down on your back. And you can place your hands underneath your lower back if you choose to support the lower back. And you will raise both your legs up. And you will do the same motion as you were doing with your arms, with your legs. Opening them wide and crossing them. Opening them wide and crossing them. Keep going. Strong breath. Connect to the breath again. So I'm demonstrating your leg position with my arms. So you're going to be on your back. Again, support the lower back if you need to. Don't let the chin ride up. Keep the chin neutral. Eyes are closed. Raise your legs. If you need to bend them slightly, if there's not enough flexibility in the back or strength in the back, you can keep them bent very slightly. But here's your trick. You don't give up. You can rest by drawing the knees in anytime you get tired, but you don't give up. For the whole duration, you don't give up. But resting is absolutely allowed. Beautiful. This movement is balancing the second chakra organs. So all those places where your emotions distract you, we are balancing those organs. We're balancing the flow of those hormones. But I need your breath for this. Just the movement won't do. You will need to have to invest your breath into it, your focus into it. Single-pointed focus. And anytime you become that single-minded, you will find yourself. In anything you do, you will find yourself. That's the beauty of this reality. Almost there, almost there. I know what it takes. Applaud yourself, trust yourself, build that strength in yourself. Inhale, bring both the legs straight up. Exhale, draw the knees in towards the chest. You can rest here, keep your eyes closed. Give yourself a little hug and a squeeze. And just breathe, rest within yourself. Feel what it feels like in this moment. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale. And now if you choose, you can begin to rock back and forth on your spine. We're going to get ready to get into a shoulder stand. So I always recommend rocking a little bit back and forth. I'll demonstrate it for some of you who feel you can do shoulder stand. Let's try it together. Rocking back and forth. And when you feel you have enough momentum, lift the legs up and use your hands, support your lower back with the elbows on the floor, upper arms on the floor. All right. And you can slowly walk your hands up the spine, straightening your body. And once you get here, really establish yourself on your upper body and try to bring your legs towards the floor just by a few degrees. Strange posture, I know. And now stay in this posture and breathe long, slow, and deep. If you choose, you can chant along with the mantra Sat Kartar, Sat Kartar. This posture is affecting the throat chakra. It's affecting the gray matter of the brain. I find with all those masks that we are wearing nowadays, it almost feels like unconsciously we are telling ourselves to not breathe. We're telling ourselves to not speak or express. So that's really affecting our throat chakra. Make sure you're breathing right now, long and deep. And or chanting. Chanting is a beautiful way of expressing something you can't the other way. The music was not supposed to change. Okay, let's begin again. Keep the breath going. We're almost there. Trust yourself. Trust this reality. Trust this moment. Almost there. Keep up. And please inhale deeply. Exhale slowly, carefully, supporting your back. Lower your spine down. And you can then slowly lower the legs down. Keep the legs extended. Have the arms by the sides with the palms up. And breathe here for a moment. And now when you're ready, draw your knees into the chest and rock back and forth again. And now slowly rock yourself up into a baby pose, which means you will have your knees slightly spread and you are kind of sitting on the heels, but you will place your forehead on the floor. And in this posture, you will take your hands, your open palms, and you're going to tap alternately in the second, third, and fourth vertebrae of the spine and around the area of the kidneys. So forehead on the floor. That's all you got to do. Keep that smile on, that neutral Buddha smile on, and make sure you are breathing. Do not hold your breath during this. Let's alleviate some of that bunched up energy in our kidney area, in our adrenal glands. Release some of that stress. Move that energy physically with your breath and with the tapping. Almost there. If you feel tired, if you find there's not enough strength in your arms, you can pause for a second, relax your arms down to the floor, and then begin again after a few breaths. Create a rhythm. You can continue to chant if you choose to. Last few seconds. All right, inhale deeply. Exhale, relax the arms down by the sides, let the shoulders relax. Just drop your body weight towards the floor and just rest here, breathe. Inhale. On the exhale, very, very slowly, please roll your spine up to a seated position. Make sure you move really slowly. No abrupt movement. Just come sitting up, take your time. All right, once you are seated on your heels, keep your heart open. Just stay here for a few more moments. Let the spinal fluid balance itself. And then slowly come sitting in easy pose, also called crisscross applesauce. All right, once you feel comfortable where you sit, make sure you have bolsters if you need or a pillow if you need. That'll allow you to keep the spine tall. We're going to bring our opposite hands on opposite elbows or upper arms. So wherever you feel comfortable holding yourself, and you really truly want to hold yourself in that reality with your chest lifted, chin slightly drawn in. Beautiful. This will be the posture. You can relax the arms down for a moment. As I explained to you the meditation and the purpose of the meditation, the mantra that we are going to use, the sound current, the vibrational code we're going to use is a very simple one. It's literally 2 alphabets. S, A, Sa. That's it. Sa. And we're going to use the simplicity of this sound current to undo some of that entanglement that has created the web of your life, those distortions of your life. If there are huge waves, stormy mind, too many thoughts, chanting this sound current will bring untanglement. It'll bring those waves into a place of calm. It'll untangle those distortions. Now, the way you're going to chant it is going to take a full deep inhale, filling your belly first, then the chest, then the shoulders. That's your inhale. And for the entire duration of your exhale, you are creating the sound sa. You can even visualize it just carrying on forever and ever and ever. When you feel you can't exhale any longer, take your time, take a full deep inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest, fill the shoulders, and then begin again. So no rush, don't rush into it. Take your time for that inhale, receive that inhale fully, and then express it in that sound current. Your eyes are closed and focused at the third eye point, so you can project as far out as possible. And while you're doing that, you are holding yourself in your truth. You're holding yourself in your reality. You're not letting yourself drop. Ready? All right. If you find that your extension of exhale is shorter than the mantra playing or longer, that's absolutely okay. You go with what is your reality. This is simply a guideline. All right, when you're ready, let's begin. Begin with a slow, deep inhale. Give permission to this reality that sits within you to be expressed. Please, please, please give yourself permission, full permission. Don't hold yourself back. Open the jaw. Let that sound come through from deep within you. And let it emanate out into the world. Beautiful. Keep going. You might find your mind naturally thinking of some complexities of your life. Introduce the sound current into those complexities and let the sound untangle the mind. Let the sound uncondition you. Beautiful. Keep going, keep going. Introduce this vibration in the stress that you're holding in your body, in the anger that you're holding in your body. Let this vibration enter. It's your own frequency, your own voice. Keep going, keep going. Hear your own voice. What does it sound like? Does it sound like it's meek? Is it afraid? What is your tone telling you about yourself? Don't avoid to look at that reality. Please look at it. Please acknowledge it. And then change is possible from there. Keep finding that sa and express it for as long as you choose to. Beautiful. Sa. Beautifully, please keep up. Receive this frequency in your body, in your mind. Let it heal you, let it become this medicine for you. Open your heart. Let it vibrate in your heart. Let it shatter the shackles of energy and impressions and conditionings that hold you, that bind you back. See if you can sense that underlying joy that was always there as you're moving away the distortions with this vibration, with this frequency. Get to know that joy, get to know that peace. Become familiar with it. Finish the last round. Let yourself project as far as possible. And then inhale deeply. Suspend your breath and continue to gaze at the screen of your mind and see what you sense now. It is a feeling, it's a sensation that is undeniable. It's a presence. And that's reality. Exhale. Inhale deeply again. Suspend the breath and get to know this presence. And this is what you want to look for in everything you do, in every relationship you have. This presence, this reality. It's formless, it's wordless, but yet only you know it. Exhale. One more time, deep inhale. Suspend the breath. Take ownership of the space. Get to know this fragrance. And slowly exhale. Relax the breath. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your arms down. Place your hands in your lap. Keep the spine tall. And just be with yourself. Be with this presence for a few moments. Make sure you're breathing and receiving the space for yourself. And now very gently come lying down on your back, just for a few moments as we absorb and integrate everything. You can cover yourself with a shawl or a blanket if you have one handy, or just allow yourself to be as still and relaxed in your body as possible. Have the legs comfortably apart and the arms away from the body. Close your eyes. And allow your belly to rise and fall as freely as possible. Feel that expansion at your heart center, which is undeniable after chanting. This is the space you're chasing and was always there within you. Receive it now. And please take a deep inhale. And exhale out through the mouth. Let's do this 2 more times. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth with a sigh. Once again, deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth with a sigh. On the next inhale, please stretch your arms overhead. Really stretch yourself tall in opposite directions. Your toes and your fingertips are pointing and reaching for different directions. And now exhale and draw your knees in towards the chest. Just give yourself a little hug and a tug here. And rock side to side, massage the lower back. And now begin to rock back and forth on your spine, engaging your breath fully. Really activate the spine with movement. Beautiful. And now please rock yourself up to a seated position. What does this peace feel like to you? Begin to plant the term reality on this state that you are experiencing right now. No one gave it to you. You arrived at it by moving away, by clearing some of those distortions, and underneath those distortions, the reality was always there. That is why it's called reality. It is always there. So now that you know it's possible, all you have to do is get to work relentlessly. Refuse to acknowledge any place where distortion wants to entice you, where distortion wants to seduce you into comfort. It wants to say, hey, just take the synthetic offering just because the real is unachievable. Do not settle for those seductions. Bring your hands to your heart center. Right hand over the left. Close your eyes. And any place that you find a little lost in your life, a little spun around, that's the place, that's the being within you that you want to send this long time sunshine prayer to. Please take a deep inhale. Exhale. And inhale to begin.
May the long time sun shine upon you and all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you and all love surround you, and the pure light within you. Guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you and all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide
Please take a deep inhale. Exhale. May peace be with you. May you allow yourself to take charge of your own existence, to find those little crumbs, those little clues that existence drops for you. In that sense of that fragrance, in the sense of that feeling of peace and bliss and joy. Follow that trail and allow it to lead you to yourself. Blessings to all. Love to all. Thank you. Satnam. See you next time.